Welcome everybody.
Street.
Welcome everybody to the
Welcome.
Two-Way Street Virtual Coffee House. My name is John. I will be your host for this evening. The Two-Way Street has been providing live music on Friday nights for over 50 years, but due to the COVID and all those restrictions, we've gone to this virtual format. But it's coming to an end, hopefully real soon. Tonight, we've got Connie Kaldor and I'm just going to say friends because I don't know their names back there. And they are coming to us from their virtual world somewhere over the border in Canada. We've had the good fortune of having people come all over the country and all over the world playing on the Two-Way Street stage. Jen and Joel have been working really hard to bring people in from all over. I think our best one, we've got some guys coming from Australia in a few weeks. So anyway, there's no performance fee. There's no ticket to buy. Connie is playing strictly for your donations. And like I say, you can donate like it says on the bottom of the screen. Please donate to the twowaystreet.org. There's a red button there that says donate to the artist, keeping in mind that she's playing strictly for your donations. So please be as generous as you can. We use PayPal to gather these kind of donations, and not to worry because of the donations will go to Connie. But if you have a PayPal account, good for you. If not, you can always use a debit or a credit card with PayPal. It's very simple to do because even I know how to do that. So with that, Connie, I think I'm ready to turn you guys loose. So let's bring in Connie and her friends.
Actually, they're even more than my friends. They're my family because this is a pandemic and you're working with who's living in your house and who's around and who you gave birth to. I may be one of the few artists out there that actually gave birth to one of her backup band, and the other one as well. They was seeing him sing a little later. Yes, it's a very small, select group in Canada that can say that. Welcome from Montreal, Quebec. We're out there. Of course, we should call you Illinois, I suppose, to make you sound even more exotic. But we're delighted to be coming to some place that we can't even visit yet. But virtually, we're over there. We've crossed the border just so that we can be part of it. And I'm sure we have some friends from Canada that are with the miracle of live stream. There's all these, the last live stream show, we had someone from Taipei. I mean, I think it's fabulous. It can just go anywhere. And although we aren't as far away as Australia, and, we don't have any kangaroos. We do have bears. We're very exciting. And we do have a hockey team that we are convinced is going to win. Convinced it's going to win. So that's what we're bringing you here tonight. And we're going to start off with, this came out, you always wonder where does a song come from? And a lot of them just kind of come out of, boredom. That's the father of invention. You're sitting around, you figure something out, or something moves you, or you think fooling around, or you're driving or doing something else, and a song idea comes to you. But this one was kind of like a commission, a personal commission. Not really, there was no money involved, but I have a good friend who loves to tidy and clean things, and she's an amazing cleaner. She's like, she can come into a room and in 5 minutes it looks like better housekeeping. I can go into 5 minutes in a room and it looks definitely like it just thrown out better hoarding, perhaps, maybe. Better hoarding, the Better Hoarding magazine or the Better Messing magazine. Anyway, she came to me, she said, Connie, she was on the phone, she said, Connie, why don't you write a song about cleaning and housekeeping and stuff, Nobody ever writes about that, and she wanted me to write something, which is, I always think kind of encouraging that somebody would think I could write about something I know so little about and have so little expertise. But I put that idea, I'm going to write a song about house cleaning. That came in, and then another thing happened. A good friend of mine was told after 20 years and 3 kids that she hadn't contributed enough. I know, we're not going to get into that. There's other songs about that. And then the third thing that really tipped me over, these 3 factors coming in to write, was that I think it was an internet ad or something. I saw this ad. I think it was for pension funds or something like that. And the line was, what does your life add up to? I know, and I thought that was just it. I thought, I'll tell you what my life adds up to. 1,000 meals, 1,000 dishes, how many birthday cakes, 1,000 hugs, 1,000 kisses, 1,000 small mistakes, 1,000 wiping down the tables and pushing in the chairs, 1,000 baskets barely carried heavy up the stairs. God knows how many washes and folds and picking ups and tucking ins and colds, not the things that make you money or a household name. Now the kind of things that get you ahead in the game. They are the everyday moments, the ones that scatter, but they're the ones that matter. A 1,000 you can do it, 1,000 don't do that. 1,000 take your boots off and don't forget your hats. 1,000 picking ups and dropping offs and cheering when they play. 1,000 getting home from works, getting groceries on the way. God knows how many washes and folds and picking ups and tucking ins and colds, not the things that make you money or a household name, not the kind of things that get you ahead in the game. They are the everyday moments, the ones that scatter, they're the ones that matter. All the late night weary times, bleary wiping tears from your eyes, all the early morning alarms and their annoying ring, all the moments that you watch them smile and you realize that you love them more than any song could ever sing. Not the things that make you money or a household name, not the kind of things that get you ahead in the game. They are the everyday moments, the ones that scatter, they're the ones that matter, they're the ones that matter. Thank you very much. Just going to grab a little drink here. Welcome to our house. This is, I'll introduce Paul Campagne back here, producer of my records and co-producer of my children. And back there, Alexis Campagne, one of the aforementioned. You know, in the time-honored tradition of my parents, I'm exploiting my children whenever possible. We have tonight you're on the edge of Montreal, Quebec. But I come from a place called Saskatchewan, but as does Paul. I kind of think I must have been a salmon in my last life. I had to go home to spawn. You know, there's something you just gotta. How could I marry someone who didn't know what a cultivator was? Really, that's the question that I asked myself. How could I marry someone who's never picked rocks? What would we have in common? So we both come from Saskatchewan. Just for those of you that haven't had them, just look on the map above, North Dakota. Montana. It's kind of the large flat place before you get to Banff. And they have this, well, I just chose the first two songs that actually have a little story in them. Isn't that interesting? The first, this song, we have a broadcaster here, it's kind of like your PBS CBC, it's a national broadcaster. And they had a contest on the radio a couple of years back where you would nominate a place in your home province that you thought deserved a song. And then the one that got the most votes, they would force some folk singer to write about it. I thought this was, you'd never do that in the United States because everybody's writing about you all the time. Lukenbach, Texas, there you go. It's got its own song. Nobody even asked for it. But darn, we all know how to sing it. Anyway, I was kind of paying attention to my home province of Saskatchewan to see what they were going to come up with, and there was a list of places. And there at the top of the list was Love Sask. Now, I thought that was so fabulous because there's just not a better metaphor for love out there. Love Sask, you can't find it on the map. It's on the way to Prince Albert, I'm kidding you not. And it's, it's got a sign that says no services. It's got a post office, and that's about it. Because post office is actually very popular in Saskatchewan because people will drive hundreds of miles to have their wedding invitations postmarked from Love Sask. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? Anyway, I thought, somebody's got it. That deserves it. I'm voting for love. I'm going to vote for love. On the list was my hometown, which is Regina, Saskatchewan. Now, that's a name you say don't say quickly. And I thought, I love Regina. It's my hometown. It's, but the rhyme possibilities with that should have just eliminated it right there. After nothing can be finer, it is downhill all the way. But of course, Regina has a lot of people in it, and they all wanted people to write a song about Regina. So love lost, because it didn't have hardly anybody living there. And me voting for them, that was it. And I was so discouraged. Well, that's not fair. Love just because they're small doesn't mean they don't deserve a song, so I decided to have my own contest, and love won. I haven't really talked about love before I wrote the song. I got a lot of mileage in my show out of Climax, Saskatchewan, of course. That's a little further south. And as someone in my audience once pointed out, yeah, and you have to go through Conquest and Big Beaver to get there. Look it up. Google it. There's a lot of lonely nights with nothing but a map in Saskatchewan. Have you ever been in love? Saskatchewan, it's a little town somewhere out there along the tree line. If you go too fast, you might drive on past. But if you find yourself in love, you can take it as a sign. I think farm women gave the name to love. Saskatchewan, they said, name it for us instead of some old leaders dead and gone. 'Cause we work so many hours, we grow our own flowers. When times are tough, love's all that keeps you hanging on. So when you're headed into love, don't expect a four-lane highway. It's off the beaten track. I'm sure you'll find your way. Blue or starry skies above, the lucky and the shy say, when you are in love, that is a place you want to stay. When you are in love, that is the place you want to stay. Some nights can be kind of dark in love, Saskatchewan, except when the northern lights shine on all you need to see. You can't leave that city glare, there's nothing for you there. And every little light's a welcome windows where you wanna be. So when you're headed into love, don't expect a four-lane highway. It's off the beaten track, I'm sure you'll find your way. Blue or starry skies above, the lucky and the shy say, when you are in love, that is the place you wanna stay. When you are in love, that is the place you wanna stay. Some night you might find yourself heading back to love, Saskatchewan, for a heart with many pages you have yet to read. 'Cause life can be a lonesome alley out there past Rose Valley, and half your heart is summer fall off and the rest is gone to sea. So when you're headed into love, don't expect a four-lane highway. It's off the beaten track, I'm sure you'll find your way. Blue or starry skies above, the lucky and the shy say, when you are in love, that is the place you wanna stay. When you are in love, that is the place you wanna stay. When you are in love, that is the place you wanna stay. Ooh, doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. Thank you. Love Saskatchewan. Take you there. You know, we're going to love spread our culture out here. Hands across the border.
We got
We got sheep.
from northeast Minneapolis.
Oh, hey. Hello, Minneapolis.
Onward to Ithaca, New York.
Oh, cool. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to our house here in Montreal, Quebec. We put out a request when we put this on Facebook, asking if anybody had requests, you know, just because I've written a lot of songs over the years, and some people want to hear certain songs, and it's just a cheap way to get a set list without me working so hard. Really, that's it. And this song came up, and it has, what did I do with my capo? My capo just falling. I need this. What? Oh, thank you. Sorry. Alexis Campagne and Gabriel Campagne. Paul Campagne and Alexis Campagne here. This song is a really old song. I don't know. We haven't done it quite a while. I'm just letting. This is a very old song. It was written actually out of an experience I had. I was traveling Canada with a theater troupe. I was in theater first, and and staying in less than great motels and hotels across. We were on a tour, and those of you who might have some theater experience, know what that's like, and the high level of budget that happens with independent theater in any country. This one, we ended up in Calgary. And we stayed at a hotel that shall remain nameless, but I've convinced that perhaps St. Regis is the patron saint of cheap hotels. Anyway, we kind of put ourselves in the room, and it suddenly dawned on me after a little trying to get to sleep that I might be the only person on my floor that was renting the room for more than an hour or half an hour. So I just kind of took my Elmore Leonard novel and barred the door. But the next morning, I'm checking out, and there's an old guy in the lobby, and I don't know. Sheep Creek is this beautiful little area in the foothills of Alberta, and somehow we ended up talking about Sheep Creek. My sister, I knew about Sheep Creek because my sister Well, some people go to the Sheep Creek Nature Preserve and come back with maybe a rock or perhaps a pine bough or some photographs. My sister came back with a park ranger. They've been married over like 40, 50 years now.
Yep.
Park rangers, good sorts. Anyway, we ended up talking about Sheep Creek, and that inspired this song. I'm going up to Sheep. I'm going to climb me a mountain. I'm going to dangle my feet in a cool mountain stream. I'm going to fill up my lungs with a Rocky Mountain air. I'll be there if only in my dreams. I'm going up to Sheep. I'm going to climb me a mountain. Gonna dangle my feet in a cool mountain stream. Gonna fill up my lungs with a Rocky Mountain air. I'll be there if only in my dreams. Well, it's hard to imagine in this $8 room that a man could be free as a breeze. And these tired old feet on this Calgary street, once lying under a tall fir tree. And isn't it strange how fate deals a blow and can leave you wounded by the road? I'm gonna lick those wounds, I wanna stand up straight, and I tell you the first place that I'm gonna go. I'm going up to Sheep, I'm gonna climb me a mountain, gonna dangle my feet in a cool mountain stream. I'm gonna fill up my lungs with a Rocky Mountain air. I'll be there if only in my dreams. Well, there's a woman who said that I promised her something. I don't know, maybe she's right. 'Cause a man will promise his heart and his soul if it's late enough at night. So I gave her my watch and we parted with a curse, and she told me where I could go. Well, I've been there, thanks, quite recently too, but now heaven's the place where I'm bound to go. I'm going up to Sheep, I'm gonna climb me a mountain, gonna dangle my feet in a cool mountain stream. I'm gonna fill up my lungs with the Rocky Mountain air. I'll be there if only in my dreams. Yes, I'm going up to Sheep, gonna climb me a mountain, gonna dangle my feet in a cool mountain stream. I'm gonna fill up my lungs with Rocky Mountain air. I'll be there if only in my dreams. Thank you. I must admit, I kind of feel the same way in this heat wave in Prairies. I mean, here in Montreal here, I keep thinking, oh, the Rockies. If I was in the Rockies, what? Margaret's Wells. Oh, if I was in the Rockies. Mind you, then I found out that the Rockies and the mountains of Canada have been having a heat wave. And so, well, maybe there might be some small part of the Rockies that's cool. So there you go. For those of you that would like to go from where you are to the mountains, there's your little sliver of it. That was, of course, a request, as is this next one. This is an old-time tune that I learned from a fiddle player named Calvin Cairns, and I thought it was just a traditional tune. It's the person was a British, I'm just trying to think of his name. Somebody can probably text that name in. Margaret's Waltz. Anyway, it took me years to figure out that it wasn't like, 100 years old. But this was I was booked to play a dance in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, up in the north, a solo singer-songwriter to play a dance. And my mother raised no fools, so I hired my friend Calvin as a fiddle player. We went up and actually had a fabulous, wonderful time. But this was one of the songs we learned, Margaret's Waltz. I loved it, and it's just such a beautiful melody, and well, I kind of adapted it. But anyway, I found myself, the next gig after Yellowknife was Los Angeles, Santa Monica, the Caves. And I was staying in a little tiny motel across the way, with bars on the windows, where I had to kind of look through to see the moon. Anyway, so I was sitting there alone in this little tiny place, in a place far away, and thinking about home, Saskatchewan, where I'm from. So, and I was thinking about, well, really the heartland of romance and excitement in the prairies is the wedding dance and the Legion Hall, really.
Connie,
What?
Marcus Waltz is by Pat Shaw.
Pat Shaw, thank you. I just had a momentary thank you. I love the folk community. I love them. I love them so
Shout out
much.
Janice McDonald.
Janice McDonald, thank you. I just could not think of his name. He has since passed on in the 50s, I think late 50s. But I keep forgetting. Thank you so much. Don't you just love this community? I say, I can't remember this guy's name. They know this. I'm beating around the bush. They know I can't remember the name, and they come up with it. Pat Shaw, yes. Anyway, Pat Shaw wrote this great little waltz that I just took to my heart and wrote this song. And so, but you have to imagine, because I was sitting in this little tiny motel in Santa Monica, where actually the sound guy had a gun and took me across. This is years ago. Kind of like a gun. Anyway, it was not really like. It was kind of like, oh my goodness, I'm having an American experience, but they took across. So they took it across. So I was sitting there in my little room with my guitar and thinking about a small town dance in southern Saskatchewan, the heart of romance. And you know, they have the wedding dances which are going on. Well, they might be starting up again, but this is really where it all happens in the prairies. The wedding romance is not an idle myth. And I used to just think it was desperation and proximity, but now, after careful consideration and experience, I now think it is physics. Neil deGrasse Tyson, when you come, you'll understand. Pretty soon, he will have a thing on romance in the prairies, and it'll involve the physics of the bridesmaid's dress. I go into this in great detail. I have a show called Big Skies to Bridesmaid's Dress, but I'll do the bridged version. Anyway, you're there. There's a midnight luncheon table. I'm just trying to get you to imagine it. You're sitting at those chairs, at the tables that have the wooden tops and the metal legs. I don't know if you have them where you're from, the kind that you stack up. And then there's chairs that go with it that shred your nylons just below your knees. Is it all coming back to you? Do you have this? And the midnight luncheon table has jellied salads. I somehow cannot get my sons to try jellied salads. What is the youth of today coming to? Somehow that lime green jello with Kraft miniature marshmallows and fruit cocktail and Miracle Whip and olives just isn't grabbing them. They're not going for it. They're not considering it a salad, even though they still have them in the prairies. Anyway, you're there, and you're probably made the bridesmaids if you're from out of town, and you're in a dress or mother made herself that doesn't quite fit you properly and rubs you in the places you don't want to be rubbed. And you've got the hairdo done up with bobby pins and shoes that are half size too small, because every bridesmaid has to have shoes that are too small to keep her on her toes. And, it's a color that's unflattering but has a name like fern or peach or pastel or, I don't know, mango. There's somehow fruit colors are big in the bridesmaid dress department. And in the prairies, there would always be an orchestra, which would consist of an accordion or fiddle player, just like we have here. And then the rest of the band is just related to that talented person. And we would have, like, if we were a real prairie band, we'd have a name like the Compang Tones, the Calder Tones, or something like that, or Calder and She Came to the Dance, that kind of stuff, and you wouldn't be wearing that stylish outfit you have there. You'd be wearing something with perhaps rickrack that matched everything we put on, and perhaps some kind of polyester item that would put you into heat stroke about halfway through the dance. But you'd have the fiddle, you'd be the talented one, and the rest of us just like this all night. We'd have the hands across the border number. Born in the USA, I was born in the USA. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. I'll do, Anyway, they have the folk dances too, the traditional folk dances of the prairies. Yes.
They're clapping.
I'm sure there are some of my fans out there clapping. Anyway, just wanted to kind of get you in the Really, you should be drinking rye and Coke, the champagne of the prairies, to kind of get yourself in the mood for this tune. And someone asked for this. Maybe their name was Margaret. No, I don't think their name was Margaret. That'd be a little self-serving. They just wanted to remember that, have that flashback of being the bridesmaid. That moment when the critical mass point at around midnight in every prairie dance where you become unbelievably attractive to every bachelor in the place. And as you see that tsunami of leisure suits heading towards you, you're not sure if they're coming for you or the sex in a pan square right in the squares section there. All the squares in the prairies have naughty names like Darlene's Delight, Hot Sticky Buns, Sex in a Pan. The Lutheran Church Women's Cookbook, check it out. Oh, maybe we should. Do you want to just play? Do you want to play a little polka or something to get them in the mood? We'll just appeal to. Well, you want to dance? Come on, you want to dance, don't you? I know you want to dance. It's Friday night. You want to dance? Okay, get up. Yes. Give to that tip jar. We're still paying for those violin lessons. You see, all of yes. Yes, Alex, even though you may be sophisticated and have one of the fabulous albums where you're quite brilliant and play amazingly well, we want to make sure you had something to fall back on, so we got you fiddling. I should mention that both of my sons have their own albums and projects out there that are, of course, quite fabulous. AlexisCampagne.com and LiberiCadGabrielleCampagne.com. I'm not the kind to sit and pine for places far away. Every town I travel to has its charms and its delights. There's something about the moon tonight set a longing to my soul to be at a dance with the one I love on a warm prairie night. And I can hear that Margaret's voice, that fiddle plays so sweet, and I can feel the spring of the hardwood floor beneath my feet. I close my eyes and I see the lights of town twinkling at night. They say that home is where your heart is. I guess they're right. So please forgive me, but tonight my thoughts are far away to the place my memory will go if I give it half a chance. I smell the sage upon the air, and I'm walking arm in arm with the one I love towards the sound of an old-time country dance. And I can hear that Margaret's was that fiddle play so sweet, and I can feel the spring of the hardwood floor beneath my feet. I close my eyes and I see the lights of town twinkling at night. They say that home is where your heart is. I guess they're right. And that goes out to someone who ordered it, requested it, part of our request line, our Facebook request line. This is another one that was on the request line. This is about a piece of Canadian history, so you know it's a big seller, a big hit. It's probably made $1 million, yeah.
We got somebody from Quebec, France.
Oh, la belle France! Ah, ben, bienvenue!
Ça, c'est notre cousine, Brigitte.
Ah, peut-être. Bienvenue, bienvenue. Nous sommes ici au Québec, on peut parler français, c'est sûr et certain. Mais moi, je ne suis pas francophone, vraiment, mais mes enfants sont francophones. Mon mari est francophone. Je parle toujours, mais j'ai toujours peur de faire des fautes. So this is about a piece of Canadian history from my home province, Saskatchewan. I have a friend, Maria Campbell, who's a wonderful writer. Oh, if you get a chance, one of her first books was called Half Read. She's a storyteller, she's amazing. She's an extraordinary woman. She just had her 80th birthday. And she lives on the original homestead of Gabriel Dumont. And in Saskatchewan, part of Saskatchewan's history is something called the Riel Rebellion. I mean, I could spend hours explaining what it is, but the Métis had been pushed off their land once in Manitoba, and they came and settled in Batoche, around just north of Saskatoon, and the same thing happened again. And they wanted self-government. Oh, what a crazy thought, eh? It was led by a man called Louis Riel. His lieutenant, or the head of their armed forces, was Gabriel Dumont. Gabriel, my son, is named after him. And it happened at a place called Batoche on the South Saskatchewan River. Saskatchewan is about as far from the ocean as possible, but it has a naval battle in its history. It's because the Redcoats came out, the government forces, thinking they'd sneak up on the Métis. Yeah, it's the Prairies, a bunch of guys in red outfits. They'll never see you. And they thought, okay, well, yeah, they figured that one wasn't going to work. So they thought, well, we'll just go up the river. We'll get a steamboat and go up the river to Batoche. Yeah, a bunch of guys in the Prairies in a steamboat. They'll never see that, will they? Well, they did see that, of course, because they're smart. And the Gabriel Dumont ran the ferry on that particular river. So what they did is they saw the steamboat full of soldiers coming up. They took the line for the ferry and put it up about 12 feet, and the steamboat went right into it, and it cut the top off, and the boat got on fire and rolled back down. Anyway, that was their but of course the numbers outweighed them. So, but a part of Canadian history. And my friend Maria Campbell lives on the original homestead of Gabriel Dumont at Batoche. It's a magical, magical place. And there's an interpretive center near there that I used to go down by, which is where it is now. I used to just go to the river when I lived in Saskatoon and just sit there and think about what went down, what happened. And so I think it's a really, it's a place where history weaves itself into your imagination. On the South Saskatchewan River, there's a crossing and a bend that they call the Tosh. On the banks of that river, a battle was won and a people were lost. Well, they've chased us once and they'll chase us again. Do you remember Gabriel? Oui, je me souviens. We have called on Riel. He will speak to us. Now will you fight for the land that is yours? Are you men? For the redcoats are coming. Well, this time they must take with guns what once they took with a pen. On the South Saskatchewan River, small shallow holes the redcoats lay hiding, with only the Queen on their side. And Riel, he has God and a vision, but it won't fill their guns, so they know in their hearts it won't turn the tide. So you run, Gabriel, for your skin is worth saving. There are many like you who must run from the crown. Yes, you run, Gabriel, for that vision lies hanging from a rope in a jail in an English town. Yes, you run, Gabriel, or your heart it is sinking when you think of the lives of your friends that it's cost. Run, Gabriel, someday you'll return to the bend in the river they call Batoche. On the South Saskatchewan River, the crossing and the bend and the banks remain, but the people have long since been scattered. Town is still there, it's not the same, but you can hear Gabriel and Riel even yet. They are whispering, you can win what once was lost. You can hear it in the rustle of the poplar leaves at the bend in the river they call bedrock. Thank you. Thank you. This is another request. That's an odd song. I'm surprised. It's a strange song. It's not surprising coming from someone who lives in the prairies. It's about constellations and stars and really they're amazing skies, night skies in the prairies, and probably one of the few things going on after 9:30 in most small towns, so not surprising. But I always loved science shows and anything about the stars and the universe, and it's just such an amazing thing to look up in the prairies, because sometimes those stars seem like they're so close, and you think of the enormity of the universe. It's always a spectacular thing. Okay. So, you start this. Wonder what they're thinking in Andromeda tonight. Wonder if they think like me. do they gaze to the stars of Andromeda? Think about their closest galaxy. 'Cause there are more stars in the universe. There are grains of sand, and the distances between them more than I can understand. But then sometimes I feel light years apart from people when I'm standing in a crowd. And I wonder if there's someone who's just like me out beyond imaginary cloud. And I wonder what they're thinking in Andromeda tonight. Wonder if they think like me. Do they gaze to the stars of Andromeda? Think about their closest galaxy. Cause I'm a tiny soul on a tiny world. If you look at it from space, it goes round and round, all green and blue. Despite the human race, but then some can decide at the speed of light that you have nothing to say. And I wonder if there's someone who's just like me out beyond the Milky Way. And I wonder what they're thinking in Andromeda tonight. Wonder if they think like me. Do they gaze to the stars of Andromeda? Think about their closest galaxy. Yes, I wonder what they're thinking in Andromeda tonight. And I wonder if they think like me. Thank you.
Mother's prayer.
Yeah.
Just got a message from Deb Mortimer who says, one night many years ago, listening to Mary's Place on repeat, and a couple glasses of red wine, and my life's path changed.
Oh.
Maria are my Saskatchewan heroes. Thank you.
Oh. You just made my night.
Deb Mortimer.
This is also a request. Let the wind blow, let the rain come down. Maybe you'll be free from harm, free to watch as the clouds rush by, with our babies asleep in our arms. And I feel tied to every mother that I see. I can't watch the war reports on TV. And if I had all the money in this world, I'd buy every gun and throw it into the sea. Let the wind blow, let the rain come down. May we all be free from harm, free to watch as the clouds rush by, with our babies asleep in our arms. And I feel tied to every mother who has hunger in her eyes, who must comfort when there's not enough to eat. Tell me, where does the plenty go? And tell me, what in the world is more important than these? Let the wind blow, let the rain come down. May we all be free from harm, free to watch as the clouds rush by, with our babies asleep in our arms. And I don't want to hear about the right and the majesty. I don't want to hear about the ones who hoard their gold. And I don't want to hear about the might and the majesty. Do the ones who make this madness have no babies to hold? Let the wind blow, let the rain come down. May we all be free from harm, free to watch as the clouds rush by, with our babies asleep in our arms, with our babies asleep in our arms. Well, I think we've got time for one more song. Two more songs? Okay. Yeah, okay, what are our choices? One or two?
Come All You Women, 4 in the morning, Bird.
Oh, we got to do Come All You Women. We'll do Come All You Women and 4 in the morning. But we do have an encore, so we consider that. Okay, Come All You Women. This song, I always wanted to write a sea shanty. I opened for Stan Rogers at the beginning of my career, and I just loved his sea shanty. I was told it goes the seas where American go and fire no guns. I mean, always had these great sing-along songs and all about sea shanties and pirates and, Riel and Carter, rise again. I can do, well, you can play the guitar, I guess. But you understand, I come from Saskatchewan. Like, for me to write sea shanties, they're not going to let me do that, man. Even if I worked in Newfoundland, it doesn't make a difference, no. Just couldn't. I was there to write about wheat fields, historical events, tractors, I don't know. So I put that small dream aside in my heart. Just said, no, maybe not in this life, sorry. I will never write a sea shanty. It's just not my lot in life, Lelania. But life has many twists and turns. And I was at a Folk Alliance conference a few years ago, and I ran into a friend of mine who had been dumped by her husband at 20 years, who ran off with some, I don't know, accordion player or something. And I thought, it suddenly dawned on me, wait a minute. She's talking about her life and what happened. I thought, there are many kinds of shipwrecks in this world. I can do it. That's it. I'm going to write myself a she shanty. So come on, you women whose hearts have been broken, throw rose petals down at your feet, so you will remember that every step forward is better than one in retreat. And come on, you women whose hearts have been broken now, for your kisses of cream, you will remember things sweet in season. The rest may look good, but they're not as they seem. And all those who treated you badly, they did not deserve your time on this earth. And all those who tossed you aside must have no idea what you're worth. So come on, you women whose hearts have been broken, now for you a glass of good wine, so you will remember that if you've been crushed, things can get better with time. And come on, will remember that major or minor solo duet, you're still part of the choir. And all those who treated you badly, they did not deserve your time on this earth. And all those who toss you aside must have no idea what you're worth. 'Cause they're shallow and deep, there's crazy and sane, ones you lose, ones you keep, ones that you love in vain. Oh, so nice at the start, it's a throw of the dice in the game of the heart. Get ready to sing along. So come all you women whose hearts have been broken. Feed you. Sorry, I got so excited by that exit there. Now you know it's live. So come all you whose hearts have been broken, come gather round all of your friends. So you will remember with each piece of chocolate, some good things last and some come to an end. Sing with me. Oh, those who treated you badly, they did not deserve your time on this earth. And all those who toss you aside must have no idea what your words. Sing now, yes. And all those who treated you badly, they did not deserve your time on this earth. And all those who toss you aside must have no idea what you're worth. 'Cause they're shallow and deep, crazy and sane, what you lose, what you keep, is that you loved in vain. Also nice at the start, it's a throw of the dice in the game of the hearts. Oh, you women whose hearts have been broken. Thank you. We have time for one more song, and we're going to do just a quiet song. Because even though we're supposed to end with a big song, because I know there's an encore. I'm just letting you know. It won't be a surprise to me. They warned me. So I can do a quiet song, because you're going to have to clap for me either way. So, but I love playing this song because I love playing with Alex C on this tune. If I could, I think I'd go around and give Olympic medalists to single parents. It's from the latest album. I have to sing something that's new to let you know. Make the lunches in the morning, fill the Tupperware with pie, get the kids off to school with a kiss goodbye. All day long I'm working, God knows I try, but when it's 4 in the morning, I cry. I don't want the kids to worry, not their fault, this you and I. Get groceries, rent a movie, tell all my friends I'm getting by. Read the bedtime story, comfort with a lullaby. When it's 4 in the morning, I cry. That's when I miss you. When my heart breaks away, that's when the strong woman leaves me, and the weak woman stays. It's when the night is darkest, not a star in the sky. When it's 4 in the morning, I cry. Put away the memories in the attic way up high.
taped up box of photographs labeled you and I. The kids, the work and everything, the time just fairly flies. But when it's 4 in the morning, I cry. That's when I miss you. When my heart breaks away, that's when the strong woman leaves me and the weak woman stays. It's when the night is darkest, not a star in the sky. When it's 4 in the morning, I cry. That's when I miss you. When my heart breaks away, that's when the strong woman leaves me and the weak woman stays. Oh, it's when the night is darker, not a star in the sky. When it's 4 in the morning, I cry.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for requesting songs. Thank you for being part of the Two-Way Street Coffee House tonight. Thank you for inviting me all the way to Illinois.
There
Virtually.
you go. In the suburbs of Chicago. Just to let everybody know, it's not too late to donate. Like it says right here on the screen overlay, donate at the twowaystreet.org, and we will send that money to Connie. We don't usually wrap that up till like Sunday night, so you've still got time. You could even catch her tomorrow on Facebook. We archive all of these programs, and so that'll be great. And I'm just sitting here so enjoying your music and thinking to myself, where have you been? This is my first time hearing you, but not my last. So anyway, tomorrow we have a sing-along from 2 to 4, and we are now going either virtual or in person. And for those who have been there in person, they know that we do it in the big room, not in the coffee house, because we can spread out a lot more there. Next Friday, we have Dave Rudolph performing in this same Friday night slot. And interestingly enough, he is going to be performing on the Two-Way Street stage in-house. This is our second soft opening. Remind everybody we are not open to the public yet, but we're working hard to make that happen. Watch for information on our website, twowaystreet.org. And I want to give a big shout out to Joel Simpson for being our virtual tech tonight. He makes all this magic happen, and I just sit here peacefully and hope for the best. But with that, Connie, nobody ever gets out of the coffee house without an encore.
I love that. I love that. I think that's excellent.
I mean, even if we've got to stand up and applaud, and many times...
Garnet Rogers used to say those were the worst 2 seconds of a folk singer's life. Can I get back out there before they stop clapping for the encore?
There you go. So you have one more song?
One of the funnier men. What?
Do you have one more song, and then you can say goodnight?
This was a request too. It's about a little river in southern Saskatchewan. If you requested it, yes, I haven't forgotten. I just didn't get a chance to sing it in. I talk too much. So we're going to not do the big rip-roaring ending. We're going to get everybody out here. This is Gabriel. You've seen his hands. He's been taking care of things. You've seen him on the djembe.
won't you come with me?
I just been thinking about this song so much over the last year. I don't know, it's been something that I love singing it. This song I've had for a long time in my repertoire, written about Saskatchewan, but for some reason I just love singing it this last year. So this is for all of you.
Oh, won't you come with me where the wood river flows? We'll watch it meander slowly as the sky turns from red to dark as that sun goes down. Throw our arms around each other and tell the dreams that are deep in the heart. 'Cause the heart is bigger than trouble, and the heart is bigger than doubt. But the heart sometimes needs a little help to figure that out. So won't you come with me? The wood river flows, little wood river knows that it goes to nowhere, but that doesn't stop its going. Or them willows grow, all of the lovers showing their hearts to each other there. 'Cause the heart is bigger than trouble, and the heart is bigger than doubt. But the heart sometimes needs a little help to figure that out.
Alexis Campagne on violin. Paul Campagne on vocals and guitar and bass, and Gabriel Campagne on all the rest. Thank you.
The heart is bigger than trouble, and the heart is bigger than doubt. But the heart sometimes needs a little help to figure that out. So won't you come with me where the wood river flows, the little wood river knows.
Thank you for joining me and the rest of my family, Gabriel, Alexis, and Paul. Thanks for joining us this evening.